Long time ago, in a small town called Umogum, there lived a woman named Mama Grace. She was known all over the village as a very strong and stubborn woman. She had only one son, Chike, and she loved him like her own life. When Chike finished school and got a good job in the city, Mama Grace said, "Now my son is a big boy. It's time for him to marry." So when Chike brought home a fine and gentle girl named Amara, everybody clapped for him. Amara was beautiful, respectful, and humble. But Mama Grace didn't like her from the first day. Mama Grace said, her eyes sharp like a blade. "So this is the one that will come and take my son from me? Eh?" At first, Amara tried her best to please her mother-in-law. She cooked, cleaned, and even washed Mama Grace's clothes. She would kneel and greet her every morning. "Good morning, Mama." But Mama Grace would only hiss and turn her face. Months passed, then 1 year, then 2 years, but there was no cry of a baby in the house. That was when Mama Grace started her true wickedness. Every time she visited, she would start shouting, "Amara, you have eaten all my son's money, yet you cannot give him even one child. What kind of barren woman is this?" Amara would cry and beg, "Mama, please, it's not my fault. We are still trusting God." But Mama Grace would not listen. She would go around telling people, "My son married a tree that cannot bear fruit." Even Chike became confused. He loved his wife, but his mother's pressure was too much. Every night, Mama Grace would call him on the phone. "Chike, my son, are you blind? You need another wife. Don't let this barren woman spoil your generation." One day, Mama Grace came into the city without informing anybody. She carried one young village girl, Ngozi, with her. "Chike," she said, "this is Ngozi. She is strong and fertile. You will marry her and give me grandchildren." Amara stood there shaking. Tears filled her eyes. "Mama, why are you doing this to me?" Mama Grace turned to her and shouted, "Shut up! You think marriage is about cooking and smiling? I want children. If you cannot give my son one, go back to your father's house." At night, Chike sat down quietly. His heart was heavy. He looked at Amara, who was crying on the bed. He looked at his mother, who was shouting in the sitting room. Finally, he stood up and said, "Mama, enough is enough." Mama Grace froze. "What did you say?" I said, "Enough. I love my wife. We have gone to the hospital. The doctor said nothing is wrong with her. In fact," he said, breathing deeply, "the doctor said I am the one with the problem." Silence filled the room. Mama Grace's mouth opened wide. "What?" "Yes, Mama, it's me, not Amara." I meant quietly because I don't want you to know. Mama Grace sat down slowly, shame covering her face. She couldn't say a word. All the gossips, all the bullying, they came back to her like fire. Amara quickly went to her and kneeled down. "Mama, I forgive you. Please don't worry. God will still bless us." Tears rolled down Mama Grace's eyes. For the first time, she held Amara's hand and whispered, "My daughter, forgive me. I was wrong." A year later, something wonderful happened. Amara and Chike adopted a baby girl from an orphanage. They named her Chimamanda, meaning God will not fail me. When Mama Grace carried the baby in her arms, she cried again, this time with joy. So, this is my granddaughter. Ah, God is truly merciful. From that day, Mama Grace changed completely. She became soft and caring, always defending Amara whenever people gossiped. And whenever she told the story, she would end with a warning. Never judge a woman because she hasn't conceived. You don't know where the problem is. God's time is the best. After the adoption of little Chimamanda, peace returned to Chike's home. Amara became happy again. The child brought laughter and delight into the house. Even Mama Grace, who used to frown and complain every day, now smiled like morning star. Everywhere she went, she carried the baby proudly on her back, saying, "Have you seen my granddaughter? This is my sweet Chimamanda. She may not come from my blood, but she came from my heart." People were surprised. Some whispered, "Is this the same Mama Grace that used to insult Amara?" But she didn't mind. She was now a changed woman. One afternoon, about 2 years later, Mama Grace went to the market. As she was buying vegetables, she heard some women gossiping under the mango tree. That Amara woman, you know she still doesn't have her own child." Another woman replied, "Adoption is good though, but it's not the same thing as having your own." They all laughed small and shook their hands. Mama Grace turned sharply. "Excuse me," she said. "What did you just say?" The women were startled. "Ah, Mama Grace, we were just talking." "Talking nonsense," she snapped. "That child is mine, blood or not. She is my grandchild. Do you hear me?" The women kept quiet. Mama Grace raised her head and walked away proudly. She had finally learned what true motherhood meant. It was not about giving birth, but about giving love. Meanwhile, back in the city, something unexpected happened. Amara began to feel weak and dizzy. She thought it was just stress from taking care of the baby. But when she went to the hospital, the doctor smiled and said, "Madam, congratulations. You are 3 months pregnant." Amara almost fainted. "Doctor, are you serious?" "Yes, so," the doctor said, laughing. "Go home and tell your husband the good news." When Amara told Chike, he couldn't believe his ears. He knelt down and thanked God with tears in his eyes. Later that week, they traveled to the village to tell Mama Grace. The old woman was sitting outside, waving a basket. When they arrived, Mama, Chike called, smiling wide, "We have something to tell you." Mama Grace looked up. "What is it, my son?" Amara smiled shyly. "Mama, I am pregnant." Mama Grace dropped the basket and screamed, "What did you say?" "I am pregnant, Mama." The old woman began to dance, clapping his hand and shouting, "Jehovah, you have answered me. This my daughter, the same one I called barren. God forgive me." She danced until her wrapper almost fell off. The neighbors came out, thinking something bad happened. When they heard the news, they joined her in dancing. 9 months later, Amara gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. They named him Ebubechukwu, meaning the glory of God. When Mama Grace saw the baby, she cried again, tears of joy and repentance. She held Amara's hands and said, "My daughter, you see how God works? I was impatient. I wanted to play God, but He has shown me that His plan are bigger than ours. You are not only my daughter-in-law, you are my daughter. Amara smiled softly. Mama, I forgave you long ago. From that day, Mama Grace became the best mother-in-law in the village. She advised every woman she meets, patience is better than pride. Don't let your mouth destroy your home. Years passed. Chimamanda grew up side by side with her younger brother, Ebubechukwu. They were close like twins. Mama Grace spoiled them both with love and stories every night. And whenever she told them how she once bullied their mother, she would end with a sigh and say, "My children, never use your tongue to wound another person's heart, because words once spoken can't be taken back. But love can heal anything." And that is how the wicked mother-in-law of Umuobum became the most loving grandmother in town ever known. Years rolled by like a river behind Mama Grace's house. Little Chimamanda and Ebubechukwu grew fast like yam vines in rainy season. Chimamanda was bright and full of wisdom, always asking questions. Mama Grace, she would say, "Why do you always tell us that story of how you used to trouble mommy?" Mama Grace would smile, her wrinkling hand stroking the girl's hair. "My daughter," she would reply, "I tell you so that you won't make the same mistake when you grow up. Sometimes, old people too can be wrong." Ebubechukwu, playful and stubborn like his father, would laugh. "Mama Grace, but you are not old. You still dance during Christmas." As the years passed, Amara and Chike's home became an example for the whole community. People admired how they raised their children with love and unity. Even those who once mocked Amara now came to her for advice. But one year, when the Harmattan breeze was blowing strong, Mama Grace fell sick. At first, she said, "It's just small fever. Don't worry." But after some weeks, her body grew weak and she couldn't get up from bed. Amara stayed by her side, feeding her, bathing her, and praying every night. Sometimes, Mama Grace would hold her hand and whisper, "My daughter, you have paid me back with love. God will bless you more than you expect." Chike too was always around, making sure his mother was comfortable. One quiet night, the moon was bright outside and the crickets were singing softly. Mama Grace called her grandchildren close. "My children," she said faintly, "come and sit beside me." They came and held her hands. "Mama Grace, don't worry, you will soon be fine," Chimamanda said, tears in her eyes. Mama Grace smiled weakly. "Whether I stay or I go, I am happy. I have seen peace in my home. I have seen love where there was once bitterness. That is enough." Then she turned to Chike and Amara. "Promise me," she said, "that you will continue to teach them love, patience, and forgiveness. Let my story never die." They both nodded, crying softly. Mama Grace smiled one last time and whispered, "God is faithful." Then she closed her eyes peacefully. Her burial was the biggest the town has ever seen. People came from far and near, all saying the same thing. Mama Grace changed. She became a mother to everyone. After the burial, Amara and Chike built a small library in her memory at the village primary school. They call it Mama Grace Peace Hall. On the wall, they wrote her favorite saying, "Don't use your tongue to destroy another person's joy." Patience and love can build what anger can never build. Many years later, Chimamanda became a lawyer, helping women who were unfairly treated by their in-laws. She said, "I am doing this for my grandmother because she taught me that even the hardest heart can change." Ebubechukwu became a pastor, always preaching about forgiveness and family unity. And sometimes, when they both came home for Christmas, they would sit under the same mango tree where Mama Grace once sat, telling her story to the next generation of children. They would begin with, "Once upon a time, there was a wicked mother-in-law named Mama Grace," and the children will laugh and shout, "Tell us more, tell us more." Then Chimamanda would smile and say, "Yes, she was wicked, but love turned her into an angel." Many years has passed since Mama Grace was laid to rest. Her memory still lives strong in the hearts of everyone, especially Chimamanda, her granddaughter. By now, Chimamanda was a grown woman, a fine lawyer in the city. She had married a quiet, God-fearing man named Ifeanyi, and they lived happily for the first few years. Her husband's mother, Mama Ifeanyi, was also a strong woman from Nsukka, the type that liked everything to be her way. At first, she welcomed Chimamanda with smile and gift, saying, "My daughter, you are very respectful. My son has chosen well." But after 3 years of marriage, her tune changed. Because, just like it happened to Amara years ago, there was still no child. Mama Ifeanyi began to change. Each time she visited, she would look around the house and sigh loudly. My son, this house is too quiet. No sound of children playing. Don't you want to give me grandchildren before I die?" Chimamanda would smile politely. "Mama, we are trying. We have seen the doctor. We are praying too." But Mama Ifeanyi didn't stop. She would whisper to her son when Chimamanda wasn't around, "Ifeanyi, are you sure this woman is not the problem? Maybe she has tied your destiny somewhere. You better find another wife before it's too late." Ifeanyi always defending his wife. "Mama, please don't talk like that. We love each other." But the pressure kept growing. One Sunday afternoon, when Chimamanda and her husband returned from church, they met Mama Ifeanyi waiting in their sitting room with a strange young girl beside her. Chimamanda's heart skipped. The scene looks too familiar. "Mama, who is this?" she asked quietly. Mama Ifeanyi smiled proudly. "This is Ngozi. She is a good girl from our village. She can help this family continue. If you can't give my son a child, she will." The word hit Chimamanda like a stone. She stood frozen. Memories of her grandmother's story flashes in her heart. The same words, the same pain her mother once faced. But instead of shouting and crying, Chimamanda did something different. She took a deep breath, walked closer, and kneeled before her mother-in-law. "Mama," she said softly, "I understand your pain. You want grandchildren. Every woman does. But please, don't destroy our home because of impatience. My grandmother once made the same mistake, and she regretted it till her dying day." Mama Ifeanyi frowned. "Which grandmother?" "Mama Grace," Chimamanda replied. "She used to bully my mother because she couldn't succeed. But later, she learned that God's time is the best. Mama, she taught us that love and patience bring blessings." The whole room went silent. Even Ngozi looked uncomfortable. Ifeanyi came closer and added, Mama, Chimamanda is right. We are trusting God. Don't let history repeat itself. Mama Ifeanyi sat down slowly. Her face softened. Your grandmother did that? Yes, Mama, Chimamanda said, tears gathering in her eyes. And she told me, never use your mouth to wound another woman's heart. That's why I am begging you, Mama, please be patient with us. Mama Ifeanyi covered her face with wrapper and began to cry. Ah, my daughter, forgive me. I didn't know. I was just afraid I would die without seeing grandchildren. Chimamanda held her hand. You won't die, Mama. You will live to carry them in God's time. Months passed and peace returned to their home. Then one day, like a sweet miracle, Chimamanda woke up feeling sick. When she went to the hospital, the doctor smiled and said, Madam, you are 2 months pregnant. She laughed and cried at the same time. God, you have done it again. When they told Mama Ifeanyi, she danced like a young girl, shouting, Chineke, you are too much. This is why they say patience is power. 9 months later, Chimamanda gave birth to twin girls. They named them Grace and Peace, in memory of the woman whose story changed generations. Mama Ifeanyi carried the babies and said, these children will grow with wisdom. Their great-grandmother's spirit will lead them. Years later, whenever Chimamanda sat with her daughters under the mango tree, she would tell them, my children, never let bitterness live in your heart. Our family once suffered from it, but love and forgiveness saved us. Always choose peace. The girl would smile and ask, Mama, was Mama Grace real? And Chimamanda would nod proudly. Yes, my dear, she was real. And because she changed, our family was blessed forever. Lesson to learn from this story. History can repeat, but wisdom can stop the pain. When we forgive and learn, we save not just ourselves, but generations to come. Every family has a story. How it ends depends on love, patience, and humility. If you find this story helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.